Teen pregnancy. Teen pregnancy is the result of teens having unprotected sex. According to the Godmaker Institute, about half of teens between the ages of 15 and 19 have had sex at least once. It has been found that teens who are sexually active and do not use contraceptives have a 90% chance of getting pregnant in 1 year. The Godmaker Institute found that 750,000 women between the ages of 15 to 19 get pregnant every single year, and 82% of those pregnancies are unplanned. The Godmaker Institute is a U.S. national institute that works towards the advancement of sexual and reproductive health at home and worldwide with public education, research, and policy analysis. Today, I'd like to speak to you about teenage pregnancy. We look into some facts and the reasons why teenagers become pregnant in America, risks and consequences of teenage pregnancy, and how teen pregnancy can be prevented. My goal for the speech is to persuade all teenagers to not have children until they become full adults. I expect all my audience to realize that teenage pregnancy is a serious problem and a very poor decision. After observing the many cases of teenage pregnancy here in my school, I was reminded that teen pregnancy is a serious problem. I would like to educate and hope to change the mentality that youth have in the schools today in regards to teen pregnancy, and consequently make them realize that it is a poor decision. Because young people lack the necessary judgment and maturity to be good and effective parents, having children during teenage years is a poor choice. Teens should avoid having children until they are well into adulthood. Now, let's begin by learning some facts and statistics about teen pregnancy and important reasons why teenagers in America become pregnant. Even though the rates of teenage pregnancy in the U.S. have gone down, about 800,000 teens become pregnant each and every year. That means that 30% of teenagers have at least one pregnancy before they turn 20. About 80% of teenagers who become pregnant are unmarried. About 80% of those teenage pregnancies are unintended as well, where nearly 4 in 10 teenage girls whose first intercourse experience happened at 13 or 14, reporting that the sex was unwanted or involuntary. While in 2014, about a total of 273,000 babies were born to women aged 15 to 19 years, for a live birth rate of 26.5 for 1,000 women in this age group. This is a record low for U.S. teens in this age group, and a drop about 10% from 2012. Birth rates fell 13% for women aged 15, 17 years, and 8% for women 18 to 19 years. While reasons for the declines are not really clear, teens seem to be less sexually active or exercising some abstinence, and along with sexually active teens who seem to be using improved birth control than in the previous years. All these factors seem to explain recent declines in adolescent pregnancy in the United States. There are many reasons why teenagers become pregnant in America. About 80% of teen pregnancies are unintentional, and most of them occur to single teen mothers. This means that even though the majority of teens are not looking to become pregnant, they're still becoming so as a result of careless or promiscuous sexual activities. It is known that the earliest age on which teens engage themselves in active sexual behavior the higher the chances of becoming pregnant. Unwanted sexual intercourse or rape does happen, and it is another reason that teen pregnancies occur. Rape by boyfriends, family members, and even strangers can result in involuntary teen pregnancy. Inconsistent or rapid use of birth control can also be mentioned as another reason for premature teen pregnancy. Now that we know the most important teen pregnancy facts, the reasons why teens become pregnant, let's look at the risk factors of teenage pregnancy in the U.S. Many risk factors are responsible for increasing a teenager's risk for pregnancy. One of the influences on the risk of a teen to become pregnant includes how early that teen becomes sexually active. More and more teens are becoming sexually active at a younger age. It is especially important noting that teen pregnancy rates among girls under the age of 15 are actually on the rise rather than in decline. There also exists a risk factor among ethnic groups due to the fact that blacks and Hispanics become sexually active earlier than their white counterparts. This means that these ethnic groups are more likely to experience teen pregnancy. All along, there are more factors that increase a teenager's risk for pregnancy. Teens growing up in poverty, having parents with low levels of education, growing up in a single-parent family, and even having poor performance in school. So, now that we have looked at some facts and reasons why teenagers become pregnant in America, as well as the risk factors of teenage pregnancy, let's finally look at how teen pregnancy can be prevented. Government, communities, schools, media, etc. all need to get more involved with our teenage community. There is a need for a more aggressive campaign to educate and transmit a deeper knowledge and a sense of perception on sexual issues, HIV, other STDs, and pregnancy, including methods of prevention. It is very important to exercise a bigger influence on the attitudes toward peer norms and sexual behavior of all adolescents. It is necessary to increase substantially the levels of communication between teenagers and their parents or other adults, who also play an important and vital role in helping the young make healthy choices about relationships, sex, and birth control. In conclusion, we have talked about facts and reasons why teenagers become pregnant in America, as well as the risk factors of teenage pregnancy and how teen pregnancy can be prevented. So, how can we do our part to help not becoming another statistic? I know that everyone here today would like to graduate school, go to college, get a car, get a family, and a good job that pays well. Teenage pregnancy will stand at your way. You will have to struggle for many years to come. Perhaps you won't be able to afford a car, go to college. We all have the collective responsibility of talking about unwanted pregnancy and responsible relationships. Thanks.